to talk about prime ministers yet, so what's up? It's not showing that anybody's watching us, though. I'm feeling like something's wrong with our thing.
I've got it on the TV and nothing has come up yet. No, something's happening.
Okay.
We're on now, I think.
It's going.
Good.
Okay, that's good.
And my internet's been funny, and Anne's been freezing, so it's a crapshoot. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah, I can't read any comments, so I saw there was
technology.
I cannot see
Technology at their best. You know.
Yep. So it's all good.
I figured I have to represent gray hair with Neil, you know, so that, you know, he's not the only one.
It works. So what's going on, people?
Representation.
That's right.
So, news. Have we got any? Let me think. I've got a new prime minister.
Yeah, Anne and Neil have been exploding. All they want to do is talk about the prime minister.
I wonder how long this one will last.
Well, I give him until the summer.
Okay.
And then I think he'll be gone.
So longer than 6 weeks then.
Yeah, I think he's got more support, sadly, than Liz Truss has.
Why did Boris drop out? I thought Boris had 100 votes.
Well, he said he had 102 votes, but nobody ever saw the evidence of it. So some people, I think the evidence was that he had 46 votes, but people were being quiet about who they'd actually voted for. So nobody really knows. But Boris will be prime minister again. I'm going to put money on that at some point. Yeah, and I don't think it'll be soon. I think it might be, 5 years' time, something like that. Because I think what he's doing, I think he's modeling his career off Winston Churchill's, but without the war, hopefully. And Winston Churchill did something very similar when he was a bit older than Boris. He left politics completely for a number of years before getting re-elected again. And I think Winston Churchill was part of two different political parties, so he swapped at some point as well. So whether Boris would ever swap, I don't know. Probably not.
That would be up to Kerry. That would be up to Kerry. If he were to swap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your audio is popping a bit, Liz.
It's what?
Your audio is popping a bit.
Okay, is that any better?
No.
I can't hear it, so.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, it is popping quite a bit. It's a little loud.
Okay.
Whisper.
Right. But the thing with Boris Johnson is that, he talks a big old Churchill game and then does a whole lot of nothing. And he's very wishy-washy and everything else.
Didn't he want to be remembered, Anne?
Yes.
Didn't he say he wanted to be remembered like Winston Churchill? And then he, did something said pee-pee poo-poo in his speech or something ridiculous? Or am I crazy?
Well, Boris says lots of crazy things, so that's probably, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't pee-pee poo-poo. Maybe it was I'm out or I'll be back or I don't remember.
It wouldn't surprise me anything.
Well, Liz Truss's, when her sort of outward speech was very I wasn't able to deliver the mandate that I was supposed to, and then she, gawked like a goldfish and she was out of there. And it was Boris Johnson who was very, but them's the breaks.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay.
But
probably got the other thing from my kids, honestly.
I don't know. The oh dear comment from King Charles is making a lot more sense now that Truss is gone.
Oh, what did he say? What was it?
Well, when he met her, he said, oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, because didn't he say as well when he saw her the second time, oh, you again?
Yeah.
For real?
Something like that. It might not be those exact words, but it was something like that. But Charles is like his father. He just blurt things out.
Doesn't have a filter?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry, Liz, what was that?
That's okay. I'd rather know what they actually think than lie about it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So do we like Charles? Neil?
Yeah, Neil.
Neil, what's the feeling in England about Charles? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's mixed, very mixed. There's a lot of people that hate him because of the whole Princess Diana thing.
Right.
There's a lot of people who love him because of his wokeness and the nonsense, that he's really into the environment stuff, which personally I'm not into at all. He's one of the reasons why I don't like him. I'm very wary is because he's a World Economic Forum person, and he was one of the big players behind the Build Back Better thing that went around the world.
Okay.
So I just don't know what it's going to mean, because the king or the queen, whoever is the monarch, doesn't really have any actual power, although they have a lot of power that they don't use, if that makes sense. So, but I'm sure he has a hell of a lot of influence, over other leaders in other countries. So it does worry me a little bit because, and coming from he's the son of the man that wanted the whole world to come back as he wanted to come back as a virus, didn't he? So he could kill off as many people as possible. So his father said that. So he's, does the apple fall far from the tree?
I didn't know about that one.
As poorly as that, but
Actually, I think because of when he's coming in with this cost of living thing, he's not going to be able to be as extreme as he might like because, there's real life problems to deal with. And I think that might save him in some of the people liking him because he won't be able to do a lot of the crazy because he's got to concentrate, on, what's really happening right now.
Well, you know about his spider letters, don't you? Have you heard about these?
No.
The spider letters or the spider chronicles. I'm not sure what they call them now. But all through his time as Prince of Wales, he used to write letters to the newspapers and to the media pretty much every other day about everything he believed in and wanted them to, talk about on the news. And they were known as the Spider, either letters or Spider Chronicles, I can't remember, because of his handwriting. It's like, like a spider had walked all over the ink and then walked all over the page. And but now he's king, is not allowed to actually voice his opinion on many things. So he's probably going to be doing a lot of it behind the scenes. So his opinions will no longer be heard, because we all knew what his opinions were on stuff. Because he was always telling everyone, whereas now he's going to have to be quiet.
One of my favorite things, he was nutty environmentalist way before it was cool. I wish I could remember the number he gave, but it was like, that the red squirrel gets 9 years and 6 months, but the gray squirrel gets like 8.5 years. But he had it down to the month, and they both like outlived each other. like why? When you're the prince, you can say whatever you want about how long squirrels are going to live because of global warming. And then when you're wrong, you just go,
Yes. Yeah. Was that one of the 10-year doomsday things that I've managed to survive about 7 of now? No, maybe not 7. But
I think, again, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I think he gave the gray squirrel longer than he gave the entire planet. I think that's what it was. That the entire planet is doomed this long, but the gray squirrel will be hanging out for a couple more months, and then
That's
it's
weird.
just like cockroaches; they'll survive everything.
Right. It'll just be a barren wasteland, but the squirrel will be like, "Hey."
I remember the 70s and global cooling.
Yeah, I didn't know about
global
that.
Warming. Yeah,
my stepdad told me that people were freaking out about it, and I'm like, for real?
Yeah, Ice Age.
But nobody remembers.
An Ice Age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's going to be another ice age, and we're all going to die. And
Cool.
And then the 80s was acid rain. We were going to all die because of acid rain.
Yep.
Our skin was going to burn off.
I was a kid in the 80s, and I do remember that being something I was actually scared of because you'd hear about it. And as a kid especially, I'm like, oh my God, acid's going to fall on us. I'm going to die. And then it was like, oh, never mind. I was just kidding.
And now we have the Just Stop Oil people. And it's a funny old thing that when you go to these old disused oil wells, there's oil in them again. It's almost as if there's more than we think.
Really?
Well,
isn't that funny?
What gets me is I don't know why they think destroying works of art or sports cars is going to endear anyone to their cause. When I see somebody throw tomato soup on a Monet or a Van Gogh, I do not want to support them. You know, it makes me mad. It does not make me say, oh, we should cut back on our oil consumption. No, it makes me think someone should smack them upside the head and sit them in jail.
Yeah, and
Like, not endearing.
It's a very forceful circular argument. It's like, well, I throw soup on this beautiful painting. Well, what does beautiful art matter if, you know, people are going to starve? It's like, what do you get? You know, what's your evidence for people are going to starve? Oh, the scientists say all of this. It's a consensus. And then you're like, well, what about these numbers? What about these numbers? What about these numbers? It doesn't matter. They just scream louder. And then if the Just Stop Oil people, if they got everything they wanted, okay, if all oil wells were shut down and, you know, everyone's freezing in their houses like they are in England and Germany and everything else because of lack of oil, when cheap oil has been the best thing for the poor of this world, that you could have your house easily kept warm and easy movement and everything else cheaply, all of this. And it always comes, you know, with the environmental regulations, you have to regulate more and more and more. And they're talking about climate lockdown. All of these
Have a good day.
It's forcing people to do exactly what they want you to do. And in the end, you're enforcing it by government. You're enforcing it with guns. If the government tells you when you can use your toaster or not, because environment, what a beautiful world. Doesn't that just sound charming? Glue yourself to another car, why don't you?
Well, the ones who glued themselves in the Porsche showroom got no sympathy from the Volkswagen Porsche people. They ignored them. They wouldn't bring them food or water or anything to pee or whatever in. They turned the lights out, they turned the heat out, and just left them glued to the floor because it was nonsense, and they were just not going to put up with it.
Yeah, they don't protest well unless they're babied, are they?
No, the guy, one of them was complaining on social media that they wouldn't bring him any water or food. It's like, dude, what?
Bring your own.
That's not really how it works. Yeah, pretty much.
They don't know what they're doing. That's the problem.
No, and they use their high-tech iPhones and everything else to video themselves doing this, that if there was no oil, they wouldn't have them, if you think about it. But
well, and if, you know, capitalism was so bad, they wouldn't have it either. But hey, whatever.
Right. And, you know, your iPhone's coming from countries who do not have environmental regulations like we do at all.
Right?
Or the freedom to glue themselves to the floor either.
Yeah, that would not be put up with at all.
Hey, Neil, does your prime minister mean that England is no longer going to be free market?
Oh, what Rishi? What in what way? What do you mean?
Because he's from the World Economic Forum, and he said the free market was a experiment that didn't work, and now they have to move on.
What, he said that, did he? I didn't hear that.
I think he said that, yeah.
What's his name? Tobias. If Rishi may have said that too, but I saw that in a tweet by Tobias Elwood.
Well, maybe he retweeted it or something. I just know they tacked it on to him. So,
well, everybody now in the government, they're all this is kind of connected, but they're all Remainers. They all would have stayed in the EU. So now people are worried. Those of us that voted to leave the EU are worried that he's going to try and steer us back in somehow. So it'd be interesting to find out. And that's one of the reasons why they were so against Boris, because Boris was one of the faces of Brexit, and they wanted him out because of that, because they knew he was actually, you know, getting us out of it, basically. But yeah, I don't know much about Rishi so far. I have to admit, he's. I think I've been kind of blinded by all the, you know, this stuff about him being a millionaire and having never, you know, I don't know. I shared it. Did I share it to you guys earlier? I can't remember who I shared it with now. But there's a video where he's in a petrol station buying petrol and he's got his card, but he doesn't actually know what to do with it because he's obviously so rich that he's never had to buy anything for himself.
Well, he's twice
he
as
has
rich
people
as
to do that.
Oh, say it one at a time.
No, he's twice as rich as the king, and that's saying something.
Well, that's because of his wife, isn't it? Because his wife's very
rich. He went to Stanford on a Fulbright scholarship, but none of his professors remember him.
Interesting.
Is what the article I read said. So I found that very interesting. Obviously, he was not,
Or he
the
bought
student
it.
who was
Maybe he
quite
just bought the
engaged in.
certificate.
That's where he met his wife. So who knows?
Well, she's interesting. She's more interesting than him because she's the heiress to a huge industry. I can't remember the name of the company, but her father runs this IT company in India, and it's something like worth, I don't know, 300 million or 300 billion. I'm not quite sure which. And she sort of gets involved in these little mini businesses that end up failing because obviously she's rich enough to be able to do that. And but what people don't like about her is that she's got what's called non-domicile status, which means she isn't technically living in Britain, so that she doesn't pay tax. So although she's earning millions, she's getting out of the tax. So that is not going to go down very well.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
And also, Rishi has got a green card for America because I'm presuming she's got American citizenship, and that's how he's got his green card, I think. But Boris had to give his citizenship up to become the prime minister, but nobody has said whether Rishi has had to give up his green card or not. So it'd be interesting to see.
That would be racist.
Well, this is the other thing, is that what's going to be funny for the future is that Rishi is a Conservative Party member now. He's leader of the Conservatives, and he's one of the richest people in the country, as we've already established. He's very posh. I mean, there's a clip of him where he's never had friends that were working class. He's obviously only, dealt with Harrow and Eton people, and how are the left going to reconcile that? Because he's a minority that is oppressed, but he's the most privileged one of the most privileged people in the country, but they'll still make him a victim, or they're going to come, do one of their weird verbal things to get around it. I don't know how they'll do it yet, but we'll see.
Everyone else is oppressed except for him, who's the most oppressor. And I thought it was funny that, Rishi Sunak is a Hindu, and that King Charles had a little bowl of special Diwali sweets for him sitting out when he met him today.
Did he?
He did, yeah.
Oh, that's just, well, the thing about Charles as well, going back to him, is that before he became king, the role of monarch in England is that you're the king, the monarch of the country, but you're also the leader of the church. So he is like the equivalent of the Pope in a way. You know what I mean? For the Church of England, because it's all back to Henry VIII. Henry VIII created that religion, didn't he? Well, say created it, but he was the one that pushed it. And so he's one of his titles is Defender of the Faith, and he wanted to change it to Defender of the Faiths, with an S on the end, because he wanted to include Islam. That. But now that he's the king, I'm assuming somebody, one of the true leaders, whoever they are in the shadows, has said he can't do that. So it'll be interesting
Or maybe just the head butler took him aside and said, "Hey."
Yeah, I suspect the butlers and the chief chambermaids probably have all the power. They probably decide everything.
Formidable. It's sort of the Jeeves and Wooster thing where, Wooster's an idiot, but Jeeves, the butler, is like, more valid.
Mm-hmm. Must Bunter and Lord Peter. Lord Peter was the detective, but Bunter did everything. Yeah. All the technical stuff.
I don't know. Okay. I have to break in for a second, because before I keep doing this, I gotta know. Is this super ugly? It looks super ugly to me.
What is it first?
It's going to be a jellyfish. It's going to be a crochet jellyfish.
No, it's fine. It's fine for a jellyfish.
I don't think
they are weird colors. Have you ever seen them in the ultraviolet tanks? They look just like that.
If it's going to be ugly, though, I don't want to work on it. I think I hate it. Anybody comments? Anybody?
I like it.
If it's going to be a jellyfish, it's fine.
I mean, it's a jellyfish for a kid, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be. Well, then kids love bright colors.
I thought it was a disco yarmulke, but that works too.
It would also, yes, that would work. I could put it on my ponytail. There we go.
You could send it to Ben Shapiro.
Are you culturally appropriating?
No, I am trying. That's a lovely jellyfish color. Well, thank you, Emily. I don't think I'm sold on it, even though all you lovely people say it's okay. I'll put it down. So anyway, kids will love the fun colors. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to see. Is anybody else making anything besides my ugly jellyfish, or is it?
Working on a sweater.
You are
It's getting put aside. It's getting put aside because I'm going to pull a Tabitha from Murder Knits and hold myself accountable to working on some things before Thanksgiving. So I have a plan to finish sleeves on 2 sweaters and do a pullover before Thanksgiving. None of which are this one because I needed something to knit on so you can count my stitches. So I needed something that had long enough stockinette. So the others have to be put aside for now. Plus, Chicken Lady's sending me some new yarn for the pullover. So I'm very excited because I'm going to do an adult companion piece to the Very Perry Paisley.
Cool.
For adult ladies. It's not going to be the same because that's very much a girly sweater. But it's going to be similar.
Right.
So
and what
Chicken
yarn
Lady's
is that
sending
that
me
you're
some
using?
good yarn. The MCN, her heavy MCN.
What, the
the
one you're
Wyandotte.
using now? This one here.
What I'm using now is Molly Klein Design Sweet Tea Yarns. It's her orchard colorway. It's like a pear colored.
I didn't know she did yarn. I thought she just did patterns.
Hey.
No.
Where have I been somewhere for years? Go on.
She does Molly Klein. She does patterns, and she does bags and yarn and stitch markers.
Ah.
She's
Go on,
very
PK.
sweet.
You're dying to say something. Go on.
No, I just remembered something. I got this in the mail today, and it's a prize from something I won, and it's yarn. And I thought maybe I should open it while we were together.
It was
yes.
fixed.
I forgot about it, and then she said yarn, and then my brain went yarn.
Who did you
yarn.
win it off? Who did you win it off?
I won it off of a Telegram group I'm in. There was this knit along for We Love Carrie Smith, and she picked my little dress and bonnet and sweater that I had made for my niece as her favorite, so I was one of the winners. So, and I got my prize for it. I went to the mailbox today when the kids and I went to the park. I was almost late getting here to this thing because I took the kids to the park, and then I was outside in the sunshine, and then I went, oh crap, I gotta go. Come on, guys. But ooh, look at.
Ooh, pretty.
It is sparkly.
Is that awestruck?
It is awestruck.
That's my favorite colorway of hers because it's my favorite one of Liz's.
From You and Dyer Yarns, our friend Liz. And then,
is You and Dyer one of our people then?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
but she just moved to tech. She just moved, so she hasn't set up dyeing again since she moved. So
right.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll get there.
Oops.
And then this is from Forbidden Fiber Company, and it is also sparkly, and it is like a brownish, pinkish. I don't know. Maybe that's some gray. Look at.
It's pretty.
Very nice.
She's one of ours too.
One. Oh, and another one. Oh, look, they coordinate. Ooh.
That's pretty.
I'm excited. Ooh, it's so pretty. And then, oh my gosh. What? Look at it's an awesome giant bag. Can you guys see it?
Cool.
What?
Yeah.
I like prizes. It's fun. Something in here stinks. Let's see. Little Bee lotion bar. It stinks not in a bad way. It just has a stink to it, a smell.
And what do you do with that?
It's a lotion bar, so it's a little hand lotion.
Oh.
You rub it in your hands instead of getting loose, wet lotion on.
Mm-hmm. And
Your
here's a
hands
little
soft
pin,
when you're knitting.
little penny pin of a monarch. Oop, wrong way. Oop, oop.
Nah.
What's this?
Butterfly, not the queen.
Anywhere balm. Little balm of some sort.
I don't understand the balm and the hand
That's okay,
cream
you don't
thing.
have to. And then these are little mushroom stitch markers.
Oh, those are cute.
So anyway, this is my prize from Tara. So awesome. Thank you for the prize. This is fantastic. I'm excited. My husband's going to be going, I thought you said you weren't buying any more yarn. It is a prize. I didn't buy anything. And then Murder Knit said this, Anne.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I have the I'm repping Tabitha, but the problem is that the box, which is full of your prizes, is actually what my phone stand is sitting on right now. So that does. I mean, I do have a couple sitting out. I have like the Murder Knit sock set, which is fantastic, and it's falling apart a little bit, but woohoo!
Oh, they've got that colour spot on, haven't they, for her logo?
That's a great color.
Who knitted that one? Dyed that one? Is that Chicken Lady or?
No, this is Sweet Mountain Crafts.
Sweet Mountain.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's beautiful.
Oh.
And then,
hey, Anne, this is actually what she says is the most important. Molly's gifts.
Molly's gift is with Molly right now. My sister, Molly is at my brother's house with him and his wife, and my sister-in-law is like, woohoo, we keep the dog. So I'm sad. Everybody loves Molly. She's very popular and not currently with me, so that's kind of sad, but oh well. I don't have a place yet, so as long as I'm couch surfing, then
Yep.
Yeah, Chicken Lady hasn't done a Murder Knits colorway. You and Dye did one as well.
Probably because Chicken Lady and Murder Knits don't actually get along.
Oh.
I'm totally kidding. That's just a bunch of trash.
Oh, I was writing that down. It was going to go in next issue.
you're like, oh no.
No, I am just teasing. They both love each other. I'm sorry.
And now to the drama part of the program.
Yarn colorways, and you're like, you know what I need? More.
You know what? I don't think that you can have too many yarn colorways. I mean, for real. Why not, right? I do remember
I agree.
Dye doing one too. It's fun. It was fun. I never got it though. I wanted to, but like I said, the husband has been a little, he wants me to use some of our stuff up. So, you know.
Gonna be that way about it.
That's why I'm trying to be good and finish whips. And because I want to have lots of sweaters and your sweater knit along.
That's right. Which I haven't posted pictures of it, but some of the prizes have come for the sweater knit along. So that's fun. But yeah, if anyone wants to donate prizes, there's still time to do that. And if you want to join the knit along, more importantly, get the prizes. That is going till the end of the year. So 2 sweater challenge. Get those 2 sweaters out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Let Them Live now is till the end of this month, right?
Yep. So you've got like one more week to do something with that if you feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, this person asked about if anybody's done any Japanese knitting. So I bought a whole book of motifs and my mother stole it, and I have never gotten the opportunity to try it. So I'm not an expert.
Yeah, I've got one of the books as well. Probably the same book, but I've never actually knitted anything out of it.
The one that I almost bought is probably the one that you both have. It's been on my list, but I just haven't bought it.
It's just so complicated, isn't it? I mean, you look at it, there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
You know, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of memorable motifs that you just learn once and then you can just keep going. Every line seems to be something completely different. So it's not enjoyable knitting for me.
Yeah, I follow a couple of different Japanese knitting tags on Instagram, and those Japanese girls, they play to win. They are not messing around when it comes to their knitting. Like, they are.
I love the way they do their patterns, you know, where it's like the schematic and then it's just one sentence. That's the entire pattern. You know, everything's so simplified, but it seems to be so simple and, clever. But I've never seen, but I don't know I need to see one written in English, you know, so that I can figure out what it means. And I've never seen one so far.
Right.
Yeah. So little thing. Ellie Mae says Cinco Farms will donate prizes. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And Murder Knit says she's working on this. She's going to start the BBB knit along. Broke because of Biden knit along, aka knit from your stash. Right?
Isn't that now called sheep colding or something?
Cold sheeping.
Cold
Maybe.
sheeping. I can't get it right.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I only heard of it in your posts, so I don't
know anything about it.
Yeah, there was a load
don't
of, you know,
either.
in the craft snark thing in Reddit, they were all going on about this thing called what is it again? I've forgotten already.
Cold sheeping?
Cold sheeping. Yeah, that's
Which
it.
doesn't make any sense as a term, but I mean,
It doesn't,
whatever.
does it?
People just be out there saying anything.
Yeah, basically it just means using your stash up rather than buying new yarn. So why they didn't just call it stash busting, I don't know. But apparently it's certain dyers get very upset if people stop buying for any time. You know, it's like they want every new yarn. They expect some people to keep buying it.
Well, that's any business.
I mean, it makes sense, but come on, you gotta. People do not. I don't know what's wrong with them. I was watching a prominent person yesterday bitching about how not enough people are giving to their current charity thing that they're doing. And I was like, so you just said that you know that people are struggling, that the economy is going bad, but also you're yelling at us for not giving to your thing. Like,
Any clues?
Any clues about what? You know who it is.
Oh, do I?
And I think too, people tend to, when things get rough, they tend to give close to home. You know, where they know that it's going to people directly. So you're more likely to contribute to a food bank or something near your home where you're actually helping your neighbors and stuff.
Yeah. Well, this one was
just
trying
because
to.
we don't, you know, people don't post everything they do in their real lives on the internet. Like, well, maybe some people do, but not everybody does. So, you know.
Right. No, but this person seemed to insinuate that because it was for Black trans people that people weren't going to give away for it. And I don't think it has anything to do with the specific cause. I just think it has to do with the fact that stuff is crap. My husband and I are like, dude, how are we going to buy groceries? Like, that's where people are right now. And as much as I love yarn and I would love to buy all the yarn, and it's
well, I had
politicians in college.
I don't care if you have a sad picture over a crying kitten, that if you're a jerk, why would I want to contribute to your charity that you're supporting?
Well, it's really hard to want to support someone's charity when they talk down about you and everything.
There's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like whereas you can find a group that actually shares some of your common belief system who are grateful for your charity.
Well, they don't even have to share the belief system, really. They just have to be respectful of other belief systems, don't they? That's the thing. You can't eat yarn. Well, my cat can.
I don't think it's that nutritious, though. I think that it wouldn't go well if that was your diet. I'm pretty sure the Stellina would be bad.
There is protein in yarn, so maybe there's some way to cook it down and get the protein out or something. I don't know.
Yarn soup?
Well, with the whole taking from stash thing. So, I mean, like I said, I am, you know, right now I'm looking for a job and looking for an apartment. So the vast majority of my stuff is in storage. So I have a little bit of yarn, and then I have this lovely box that Tabitha gave me. So I've been just knitting from whatever I got hanging out. Like, okay, so what I've been knitting this week. So I knit a pair of socks, and then I ran out for the toe. So I had to find the closest thing to the toe. Woohoo, poor me. I had other yarn. Like, it's, you know, it's like stashing. And this bad boy, I don't think anybody else is interested in this pattern than me. But it's
actually, I can see now better from a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the Irish harp. I would recognize that, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, this is Chicken Lady's Lucky Charm yarn, also from Tabitha. Just saying. But anyways, so, you know, that I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think of other ideas and other things from, you know, this small amount, and I'm having fun with that. I don't know, you know, it's a good time for me. But
it's kind of making you think outside the box, I bet, just working with the couple things you have, which is kind of fun.
It is. And there's lots of sock yarn here. So more socks.
Oh, that's cool. I like this comment. I'd rather support local charity. I don't do charity for pats on the back, so I wouldn't advertise whatever I was doing. That's the virtue signalers game. True story. True story.
Yep.
But hey.
That is true. So, I mean,
So-
we've been charity knitting groups too, where you show everybody what you've knit, but that's to support the charity
Right.
as well.
Right.
Yeah, and it's
And also, I think as people with a platform, there's nothing wrong with highlighting charities. I mean, that's, because how sometimes that's how people find out about things that are interested in. So
that's true.
Yeah.
It's the expectation,
that makes
isn't
me
it,
laugh.
that people are going to give? That's where the issue comes in, isn't
that's
it?
the problem
Yeah.
because, I've actually, sorry, I totally flaked on you. So that last week I was like, Neil, we've got to talk about charity knitting. And then Neil comes back to me with all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm sick. I can't do it.
Yeah, that is exactly how it happened as well.
That's exactly what happened. And he was like
So you're
messaging
like,
me and he's talking and I just like fell off the face of the earth. Totally sorry about that. I'm much better now. I can talk again.
Oh, no.
This is how I work though. My brain thinks of one thing and then I'm done and I have to, anyway, but because Neil has the magazine and Ann and I have the show, I was talking to him about like, hey, let's kind of try to get this together where we're kind of, we have a spot where people can go to find things and do different things. And I think that's great to have, because there might be something you want to work on and you don't know where to turn in things or anything. Yeah.
well, you're not telling people where to give their money. You're just giving them options,
Right.
and you're not saying, okay, let me know when you gave that money so I can,
Yeah.
count it.
So I can count it to my totals because it's me
think-
doing it, really.
I think sometimes
Yeah.
watching some of the less savoury people in the knitting world, shall we say, to be nice, I get the impression that some of the viewers, let's call them viewers for argument's sake, some of the fans, some of the viewers, whatever, I think they wonder, they think that the person that they're watching is going to be offended if they either don't do what they're suggesting or if they disagree with what they're suggesting, so that they will go out of their way to do it just to try and please them. You know what I mean? And I'd hate to think anybody watching any of us thought that, and I'm sure they don't, because I think people on our side of this tend to be a little bit more, what's the word, vocal, don't they? They say the mind a little bit more. But yeah, I think there's a lot of very impressionable people out there. That if you
I think they want to belong too.
Yeah, and certain people are telling them to do certain things, so to be in the right group, not be ostracized, not be whatever, they do what they tell them to because they're the ringleaders.
Right. And I think part of the thing too is that, I mean, it's sort of like when we state an opinion on something or I say this about this political event or that political event or some controversial thing like masks or whatever. I say that and I say, this is my thing and DK might disagree with me or agree with me, or we might all have different opinions here, or let's say we all agree and we're talking to this with everybody. I don't expect everybody who listens to me to agree with me all the time, and I'm like,
Exactly.
even if I state something very, like this is the way it is, I don't expect everybody who listens to think, well, that's right, that's the way it is, or I'm out. I expect there to be some disagreement. And I expect that if I do something, everybody's not going to follow me, or if I, like I would love everybody to join along in my 2-sweater knitting challenge. If you don't join along my 2-sweater knitting challenge, I'm not going to chuck you off the face of the earth. Okay.
Which is good because as much as I think I would like to be involved in the 2-sweater knitting challenge, I'm probably not going to be. It's like,
well,
if she got rid of me, we'd be in trouble.
I knew I wouldn't be able to get a sweater made in time, so that's why I've not.
You
taken
still
part.
have to be here.
I still have
It's
what?
just
Sorry?
You have until
some podcast. Some podcasters, it seems to me, I don't know if they get free yarn to push or whatever, but it always seems a lot of the ones that I no longer watch, I stopped watching because they were like, oh, this Dyer came out with a new color, you have to get this color. It's like, well, what if I don't like that color? But it doesn't matter. You still need to get that color because they said so. And, You know, we all have different tastes and different.
Well, I've heard
Likes
of
and
people that
dislikes.
have bought any color of yarn from a particular dyer just because they wanted
Mhm.
to have a piece, you know, one of their yarns. It's like not even a color they might have wanted. It's like, why would you do that? You know, just to have that person's yarn. I don't get it really.
Because the in crowd told him to, that was the dyer to buy from.
Hmm.
It's like, you know, it's like when you watch podcasts and everyone is knitting the same Caitlin Hunter or Andrew Mowry or whatever pattern. And it's like, great, yeah, it's a new pattern. I can see it's popular, but when there's 15 different podcasters knitting the same pattern, it's kind of boring to watch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
I've got. Sorry, go on. Keep going. I'm just got to do something over here. I'll be back in this. Oh, don't look at the bad wall where I stopped painting, by the way. Can you see?
oh no!
I got tired
Why
of
did you
painting
stop
and I just
painting,
stopped.
Neil? I will exactly ignore that and not look the entire time while you're.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, we're live, aren't we? We can't cut that out, can we?
Nope, it is what it is.
Not at all. Well, okay, so
Murder Knit says they're all doing the same sweater and an orange.
Exactly.
You- excuse me, Tabitha, you may not bring up the color orange unless you've already paid your dues. I don't think you have. Just saying.
well, not to bring up more things I've made lately, but burnt orange is my jam. I love
yeah?
burnt orange.
Oh, I have orange.
But no, I was saying about the sort of you must have this yarn, you must have that yarn. One time in my life, I've only bought yarn because it was someone's de-stash of a dyer that I liked, and it was Maria Tuscan's. Just saying, somebody had some. I jumped on it. I was excited. But it's sort of thing too of different attitudes that I mean, we advertise on our show, and we advertise Chicken Lady. We love Chicken Lady. Chicken Lady is awesome. Also, she has genuinely good yarn with a discount code. But
Right.
that's the point. It's one of those things that look.
But the thing
We
about
have
Chicken
friends,
Lady
and
is that,
even-
the thing is that we don't advertise every single colorway of hers. It's not like we have a colorway that we wouldn't buy personally that we're telling other people to buy. We show up,
You're not, and you don't try to
say,
guilt
go to the
people into
website.
buying it either.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but also, I mean, like, look, she has many colors. Some of them you might like more than others. You have a variety of options and a discount code. But also, it's like, I shill for all my friends. I love all you people. I want everybody to go to Neil's magazine. I want everyone to use Liz's patterns. It is called Not Enough for Soup. It is linked in my Instagram account.
Yeah.
So
It is not pink, but it is not enough for soup. So
right.
See, I'm using orange this month. This is Tina's Woke Screen colorway.
oh,
That is
cool.
Orange and charcoal.
Just go
And
back
I
to
did not
Chicken
ask
Lady.
permission.
I was. I decided to not buy any yarn for a while. Yeah, because of the exchange rate. Because at the moment, I think it's changed now, but it was almost £1 for $1. You know, a couple of weeks ago. So I thought, right, that's it. There's no way I can buy any more yarn from America. I just can't afford it. And then Chicken Lady goes and brings out 3 colorways. So what is it now? I can't remember what they're called now.
Cherry Pickin' Felon.
Cherry Picking Felon, yeah. There was the
Stupidest Man on Earth.
yeah. Did she do that one?
I believe so, didn't
Yeah.
she? And then
Yeah.
what's the other
I
one?
think so.
The third one. What's the third one? Oh, I'm Hotter Than You. All
I don't
of
know
which,
what that's a reference to.
do you remember in the summer? It was hotter here one particular day, and I said, "I'm
okay.
hotter than you." So it sounded like I was saying I was hotter, you know, as in ooh.
Well, obviously you are.
Depends
And
for who, doesn't it? I
also-
suppose. Depends who's watching. So I had to buy them because it's like, how can I not buy them when they're, you know, referencing me? So now I'm skint. That's it. Now I've got no money left.
And also,
Yeah.
to support Chicken Lady more, this is her sweet maple, and I put it on toes for this. I am like so fascinated by this colorway. I wanted to invent an entire sock pattern for it. It's fantastic.
Oh, can we see that again? Can you show us again? I kind of didn't see
Sorry.
that.
Sorry.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Ah.
It's
This
really
is
pretty.
sweet
A
maple,
lot
which
of
is
layers.
it's a colorway that I've held up as a hank lots of times. Finally got caked up. I'm like, oh, I love this.
I love when you do that. When you cake up a yarn and you realize, ooh, this is Not what I thought,
And I'm
but
like,
I like
oh,
it.
it's sitting there in a hank. It's lovely. And I'm like, no, wait, I really love this.
Can I show you my knitting disaster?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
This is the first time this has happened to me. So, you know, like when sewers or seamstresses or whatever, sewists, whatever they call themselves, you know, when they get a needle through the nail, and that's when they say, I am finally a sewer, whatever, or a tailor. Well, this is the equivalent for knitters. I felted a pair of socks
Oh no.
without realizing.
Oh, I've done that.
Oh, it's the worst.
And I'm so peed off because they're not a nice color, but these were kind of like my house socks that I used to wear around because they were just wool. There wasn't any nylon in them, and they were DK. And I just completely forgot because my ordinary socks I can put in the washer because they've got the nylon and the superwash. So then they didn't even go in the dryer. This is just on the lowest heat as well. So
Wow.
it's like, wow. So
Wow, that's
these are going to be
nuts.
cat toys now.
Bummer. And I don't know if they're just like darkly colored or if they're proper black socks, but those are a pain to knit.
They're what? Sorry.
Are they
Is it
black?
the color.
What, these?
Are they? Yeah.
Oh no, the brown. They're,
Okay. Well,
one
that's
of
slightly
the-
better, but
Still- Still dark.
yeah, but don't know what I'll ever do with them. They'll have to go in the bin now, I think. But
bummer.
all that knitting.
That stinks. See, and the people wonder why I don't make socks. That's why I don't make socks.
Well, I think the lesson to learn is don't make socks out of yarn that isn't superwash. That's the lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
I used to make tons of socks. That was the first thing I learned to knit. And I did the grocery girls their sock bash, knit a pair every month, and then it got to the point where I had all these socks that never got worn because we don't wear hand-dyed. We don't wear handmade socks in Nevada and Las Vegas because it's too hot. But I gave them all to my daughter because when she goes to college up in Utah, it's cold. So she'll actually wear them. But I just got done with knitting socks because no one was wearing them in my house. So it was kind of time to move on.
Oh, the other thing I've been working on is, sorry, just diving in with this, is a Doctor Who scarf.
It's pretty.
Yay!
So,
I like the colors that I did. I know there's a
Which version?
I'm doing the original, so it's going to be 14 feet long.
For real?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, these aren't my colours either, so I won't ever wear it because I won't look good in it at all. This is going to be for someone with brown eyes and dark hair, I think. But I've just always wanted to knit it, and you'll find out why I've knitted it at the moment soon. It won't be too long before you find out why. And I just got a bit obsessed, thinking, oh, I want a Doctor Who scarf, just to have said I've knitted one. I mean, it's only knitted, guard stitch. The only colour I couldn't replicate was this one. That should be a mustard colour. But when I got the yarn, I didn't want to get a separate brand of yarn. So this is Stylecraft Heathers, I think it's called. And it's all acrylic. It's only acrylic. But for this kind of, because the person who's probably going to end up with this isn't going to be a person who can look after wool. Says me, who's just felted my socks.
But
so,
why is it 14 feet long? What's the reason?
Well, the story is that when... Sorry, Anne, go on.
That's what it is. When you see the fourth star, it is looped long and over and long and over. It drags when he walks. Like there's a lot of scarf.
Yeah, the story behind it was when the BBC were going to have this new doctor then, which was Tom Baker. They wanted him to have a scarf, and they had a knitter who was one of the fastest knitters in England at the time, and they just gave her a ton of wool and said knit a scarf, but they didn't give her any instructions, so she just knitted it all. She knitted the whole thing, so it ended up being 14 foot long. There have been, I think there were something like 5 or 6 different versions of it over the seasons with him in it.
Yeah.
And they did do some doctoring. See what I did there? With some of them.
A red scale one that I'd found the pattern for, and I knitted it in like a grayscale a while ago. So yeah, that was fun.
So how long was that one?
I don't remember. I made it really wide too, but it was, I don't know. It wasn't the full 14 feet, but it was a sizable scarf, and I did long tassels on it too, so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I gave it to somebody who was like an original Tom Baker fan, and they were very excited.
He was the first Doctor I remember from growing up, so
Yeah, he was my doctor.
I fond memories of my childhood with him and his hat and his scarf. And
yeah,
were you not a Doctor Who fan, PK?
Never seen
No.
it.
See, I came in during David Tennant's time, but I did go back and watch a couple of the older ones. I kind of fancied Peter Davison, but part of that was that I loved him as Tristan Farnon in All Creatures Great and Small.
When you say fancied, do you mean that as in the England version of fancied, or is that a different meaning in America?
No, I thought he's pretty cute. Not gonna lie.
Ah,
isn't he David Tennant's father-in-law?
He is, yeah.
he is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all pops and buzzes, guys. Got nothing.
Well, we have got some Doctor Who news, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'll let Anne tell that news.
Okay. So I haven't watched any Doctor Who until I don't think I've seen the last season of Peter Capaldi, which I liked his version of the Doctor itself. I really liked him. He had some great lines. I liked how he did his personality, but fine. But like the whole his companions and plot points, I'm like, what's going on here? Like I didn't get into it as much. And the whole thing that they did later with companions, that okay, sure, you have the companions, they're fun characters, you have your sidekicks, that's cool, but everything is about them. They are the most important people ever. And I'm like, could you stop with the Clara already? Anyways. But okay, so Peter Capaldi left as Doctor Who. It's Jodie Whittaker, Whitcomb? No.
Whittaker.
Okay,
it was
sorry.
Whittaker.
Yeah, I've only ever saw her as Hiddleston's girlfriend in Return to Cranford, which I thought she was okay in that. But anyways, so she's the Doctor, and basically they cracked the show so bad. Okay, sorry. DK is just sitting there like, okay, so Doctor Who, he's an alien, and when he, quote, dies, he explodes into another person. So it's the same person, but new actor, new personality, new take on the Doctor. And then he has his companion for his side. They have time space adventures. Okay,
except there shouldn't be more than 12, but let's ignore that.
Right. But anyways, so when Jodie Whittaker's character died, and they're going to have the new Doctor, whose name I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember either.
I don't remember his
name. It's an unusual name.
I don't remember. I hadn't seen anything with him in it either. I know that he was in a couple of different shows in England.
He was in Sex Education. I don't know if you had that in America, which was actually really funny. It was genuinely funny. If you get the chance to watch it, try and watch it.
Okay. I haven't
really.
I think it was through Netflix. Yeah. Was it? Or not?
Sex Education.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was on Channel 4 here, but I don't know whether it's on Netflix. I'm not sure.
Anyways, but and also not entirely, but it's the question again of it being a diversity hire, because it is a black guy who's going to be the next Doctor. So they had to have the first woman, and then they have to have the first black guy, which again takes away from like, you wonder if he was the best actor for the job, though maybe he will be the best actor for the job. And then the whole questions around it of
what's that?
Like,
sorry, Anne, what was that then?
Here, I think this is his name. I assume that's why that person put that.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Sorry.
Who's going to try and say it? Go on. Who's going to try?
I'm uninvolved in all of this. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I'm waiting for her to get to the news.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm still in background stuff in the building up to this. So they're going to have the new Doctor. Okay, he's going to be a man again. Okay. And the show is going very poorly. So we're going to bring back Russell Davis, who was the showrunner during the David Tennant era. And then the new Doctor is going to be the gayest one yet. And we all went, ugh, yet again. And not as if, what's his face 11, kissing Rory wasn't gay enough, but no, that's okay. But okay, so you have Jodie Whittaker. She regenerates, she dies, but they regenerated her into David Tennant. Their show was so bad that they had to repeat the Doctor that everybody liked, the 10th Doctor, for a gimmick.
And they're bringing back Catherine Tate as the sidekick, because she was the most popular sidekick as well.
Oh, she was hilarious.
Are they? I did not hear that. I might have to go back and watch because I gave up after.
But the
during the
ratings
Capaldi.
Go on, DK. Go on.
Yeah.
So when you say that he's going to be gay, is he actually going to be gay, or are you just using that as a term? Is the Doctor gay? What? Who's Rory? Tell me. I don't understand.
Well, they've hinted, haven't they, at his sexuality quite a few times over the years, modern years.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Go on,
when you look at the 9th season of The Doctor, where you have, Captain Jack, who, hey, you walk in,
Captain Jack.
but he was a hilarious character. But it's like, no, there was plenty of gay representation all through this.
You know what happened with Captain Jack, though, don't you? The actor.
Oh yeah, he had his moment.
Yeah, he
John
got himself
Barrowman,
into trouble.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently he's very proud of his bits and pieces, so he was often getting them out and in front of cast members and things like that. And some people were very upset about that.
I imagine.
Come back to us, DK. Come back.
So basically, DK, she's saying they brought back the best Doctor because this last Doctor was so bad.
Old showrunner to promote their failing show, and even then it didn't give them ratings.
Pretty much, yeah. Because nobody had turned it in.
Okay.
Exactly. All right, so what's the knitting scoop, Neil?
Sorry, what? Which what?
You haven't given a knitting drama. DK at least knows the knitting drama, so...
I do.
There's
Exactly.
always
Like,
knitting drama.
I don't know if
Which
he
bit
wants
of
to
knitting
disclose
drama do you
too
want me
much.
to tell you about?
I don't know.
We'll start with the most obvious. So there's a very famous Lady Dyer who has got herself into trouble.
I like how you just did that.
I know,
What?
very posh, very posh.
What do you mean? She's a Dyer and she's a
that
lady.
Lady Dyer.
I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Can't imagine.
Don't be putting words in my mouth.
No, I liked your inflection. It was, I got you.
So anyway,
Very enunciated well.
This Dyer, who happens to be a lady, has got herself into a lot of trouble where it appears, and I'll keep saying allegedly because I'm talking about other people's opinions and claims here, she hasn't fulfilled a lot of orders and she owes a lot of money. And I think we're talking $20,000 at the moment, possibly getting higher, because there's a spreadsheet out there. This has nothing to do with any of us, by the way. This is a spreadsheet, they are keeping.
Other people have put together.
Yeah. And they've got a running total.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, Anne, go on.
I love it when other people do your math for you. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I know, right? And keep such good track of it. It's like...
Yeah, and she's kind of done a disappearing act, but she hasn't disappeared, but she's kind of gone very, very quiet. And the latest bit of information that they are alleging, so I have to say they are alleging, I'm not alleging this, and we are not alleging this, is that what she was doing was when someone placed an order, she was going to all the trouble of finding them on social media and seeing how many followers they had to decide whether they were a VIP person or not. So the more followers you had, the more chance you were of having your order fulfilled and having a good quality product. If you only had one follower, then they are alleging that you probably wouldn't receive your order or you would get something a bit subpar. So that's an allegation that the person doesn't prove, so it's all pie in the sky.
It's one thing to be a bad business person. It's another one entirely to do that level of...
Well, I wonder, I don't know whether she has done that. That's the thing.
If it's true.
Sorry,
I got a question though.
Yep.
So who has the time to do that?
Well,
Wouldn't
that's
it just
why
be
I
easier to
wonder.
work?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why
Well,
I don't know whether
if
it's
you're not
true.
fulfilling the orders, you do have plenty of time. What are you talking about?
yeah, I guess so, but I
Oh,
don't
she's
know. I'm
also
busy if it is.
she's also put an advert in for I don't want to say an accountant, but someone with accountancy bookkeeper.
That's
That
a
was it.
bookkeeper.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I think you should apply, DK.
Oh
Of
no,
your
thank you.
experience.
No, thank you.
Um,
I'm not. I don't love being a bookkeeper, so I will stay away from that mess.
And it was a really interesting job ad because as soon as I read it, I just thought, well, I wouldn't ever apply to work at a place like this, because one of the things she put was, we need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Maybe, but I don't know yet. And this was actually written in a job advert. And it's like, well, that doesn't inspire much confidence for an applicant to think they're going to be working for a good business,
Yeah.
you know?
It's so great. You're so quirky and relatable that you don't have clear expectations of what I'm supposed to do. It's whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody in that position who owes that kind of money,
Oh.
who's advertising for a bookkeeper, should be advertising, look, I need help. I need you to take control of this.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what they should be asking for.
Yeah.
This wishy-washiness, that's even, that's like, I need a bookkeeper, but I really don't want you to change what I'm doing. I just need you to fix something.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It sounded like what she wants is someone to actually do the full thing, because it even mentioned, I might be wrong on this, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone else saw the ad, but I'm sure it was stock control as well. And that isn't really a job for the bookkeeper.
No.
I don't think.
But the way the ad wanted them to like reconcile things, and that's not it was running like the totals for refunds and stuff. Like I've never heard of a business that needs somebody that is a pro at doing refunds because you're so bad at business.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And one of the things, I mean, I don't know, somebody did explain this as being normal, but it sounded very strange to me. But one of the job things that they would have to do would be to research credit card. I can't think what the word is. When the credit card gives you the money back when the vendor hasn't come forward with the
chargebacks or whatever.
Chargebacks, that's it. I couldn't think what it was called. Yeah, so someone to research credit card chargebacks. Now, I don't understand what that means. Why would you need to research that? I don't. Why
It would just be under
Ask
statement.
for somebody who is knowledgeable in credit card chargebacks.
I don't know. I mean, that's just my inexperience. With
it would be right in your account, the chargebacks.
Yeah.
I
What's
didn't
this?
see that.
Oh yeah, I do remember someone had posted a thing where she was offering free yarn just to pay shipping because she had so much in overstock of it. And then she said she had to dye more of it because so many people wanted it, but then they never got it.
What? It's all.
I read that in the Demon Trolls.
I just don't get all this. It's crazy, the stuff that she's been doing. I mean, I don't know. This is just me imagining things, but I think that everything she's been doing has been to try and fund the last thing that she did that hasn't. You know what I mean? She's always trying to get money to. But there's a big question mark now over her charity stuff, which has been. Which is worrying because she could get into a hell of a lot of trouble apparently in her state because they're quite strict about it there apparently, and there's no evidence that she gave the money that she's raised to the charities. Doesn't mean she hasn't given it to them. Need to say that she may well have done that, and I hope she has, but there's no evidence out there, so she could be in trouble. Oh, but one of the other things that's happened is that the people on Craftsnark and on Demon Trolls have all been saying the kind of things finally that we've been saying for a long time. You can't, let her off just because of her skin color, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't make us racist, blah, blah. All the things like, oh, hallelujah, you're finally seeing it. Until I think his name is Benjamin Livesey. He's the guy behind Stitches West, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's sort of muscled in on the whole thing. Why, I don't know. But he is now saying that all of those people that want their money back, if, that they've all been, how did he phrase it now? They haven't been overtly racist, but basically their clever use of the English language has allowed them to be racist. give or take a sentence or two there. I don't know exactly how he said it, but it was something like
It's not racist to want your money back if you don't get a product you order.
exactly,
That
unless
has nothing to do with racism.
but in their
I mean-
world, if the person is black or brown or
I
whatever,
mean,
then it is, you know.
they might consider it racist that people are talking about and even putting it out there to warn other people. They may see
Yeah.
that as racist, but that's just good. That's just due diligence. If you know somebody's giving out bad business or they're doing something fraudulent to your customers, you want to let other people know so they don't lose their money. That's not about racism. That's about bad business.
And
Yeah.
you know what?
You know.
Go ahead, Anne.
Sorry, I was just going to say it's, you know, expectation of giving somebody money for nothing because of their skin color is like, that's its own racial bizarreness. You know?
That's what I was going to say. It's the racism of low expectations. Like, oh, we can't say anything about it because this lady Dyer happens to be black, and so therefore, if we say anything, we're going against a black woman. No, we're going against somebody who is doing bad business, allegedly. So, whatever.
Well,
It has nothing
yeah,
to do
I
with
mean,
skin color. There could be a purple person who I gave money to who never gave me what they were supposed to. I would tell you guys. It doesn't matter.
exactly.
Oh, there's an interesting
yeah,
comment, DK. Murdenitz has made an interesting comment.
Okay. They're finally admitting on Demon Trolls that Lady Di got this far because people were afraid to call her out because she would accuse them of being racist. Exactly.
Who is this Lady Di she speaks of?
Oh, I think she just spelled die wrong. Like
Oh,
Dyer.
Oh, does she mean
So,
Lady Dyer? Lady Dyer.
I think
Yes,
so.
I think,
yes,
yeah.
I think so.
Typos, Tabitha.
Yeah, well, it just blows my mind. You can't, call out a bad business without
I
being racist.
I know.
And
Oh,
it's the low standards, expectations and low standards that
Mhm.
people have of other people who look differently from them. Whereas most people want other people to succeed regardless of what they look like.
Well, the whole
Some
thing
of
has
us
been
want-
really clever, hasn't it? In a bad way.
Yeah.
Because it's been framed that, you have to buy from these people because they have some kind of disadvantage in business and in
Mhm.
life because of the skin color. And then people are then feeling sorry for them for, it's like, oh, poor, this person of color or whatever, rather than looking at them as an equal and a business person and, somebody you're going to have a transaction with. So then when it all goes wrong, then if you're trying to call them out on it, then you're bullying them, and it's like you're not giving them a chance and their business might fold because of this. But looking into this particular Lady Dyer, she apparently has had multiple businesses over the years. When I say multiple, a few. I don't mean like hundreds. I mean maybe two or three. Yeah. And they apparently have folded as well. But yeah, I mean, I wonder whether there's some question mark over where she's going to be living and where the business is going to be from the 1st of November, because she has to leave where she is at the moment, and I'm wondering whether she's just going to disappear, off the face of the earth.
So.
Yeah, you don't
For
think
a
so,
while.
do you say, or you do?
And then
You do.
And then she'll come back with something new because
Yeah.
people can't stand to be away from it. They like the attention. They like being put on a pedestal because they're special because of their activism or whatever else they're doing. They can't stay out of the limelight very long.
Yeah, she might go into a different field, maybe, rather than in the knitting world, she might enter, something else, the sewing world or something. I don't know.
Do you know if she's been sent to like the better?
I was counting.
Sorry, one at a time.
Well, Anne, you're
Sorry,
so
go ahead.
glitchy today.
I missed what Anne said. What did you say?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I was that she'll, leave in disgrace and come back as all of these evil, evil people who hounded me off the knitting business. But I am back and I am stronger than ever. And
well, somebody on Craftsnet said she's probably going to write an autobiography with her version of all of this, where, obviously she's going to be the bullied poor woman creating a brand new business and whatever. What's BBB, by the way? Has the BBB
Better Business Bureau?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah,
I
because
don't
there's
know
been
if
lots
you
of
know
talk
that
about
or-
the AG, the Attorney General, as well.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know
Attorney
whether
General, they said a lot
Yeah.
of people reported it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, just because you want to do something doesn't mean you don't need help. And
Mm.
if you want to run a business, you might not have the skills to do the accounting or the accountability. So you get somebody to do that with you who knows what they're doing. That doesn't mean that, you're weak. It just means you're using the best skill set. And
Right.
I think the problem that this person's got, though, is that she's sort of marketed herself as an expert in business, and that she's had the best mentoring from, these top business people. So I think there's an element of shame on her part, whereas it's finally admitting, well, no, you're actually shit at it,
I don't think there's any shame.
This is interesting. Yeah, I forgot this part.
That she stole from those designers.
Yeah, she's been accused of copyright infringement because she's been taking patterns without telling the designers and adding them into so she's bought one pattern, say, off Ravelry, printed them off, and then she's putting them inside these kits. And I don't think there's many of them. Some of them knew about it and have dealt with it, but there's some that have kept quiet. But there's a feeling out there that the reason they're all keeping quiet is either one or two of them are taking proper legal action and they've been advised to keep their mouth shut and not muddy the waters, or that they're too scared to question it for fear of what the backlash might be.
Yeah, and this person, I don't know about the whole Vogue thing, but
no, I don't know about that.
That she might have been kicked from it because of the pattern theft, because one of the people was on the panel. So
well, and
you can't really be on the panel with somebody you've stolen from. I don't think that works well.
Right, and correct me
if I'm
wrong, but there was a bit of a controversy with Primrose Yarns that she was using patterns without permission. But what she was doing is she had a pattern
buying a copy
thing, and she was buying a copy every single time and then gifting it to the person who bought the kit. And then the designers complained that, well, you didn't have permission to sell a kit for my pattern, even though they were giving them money for the yarn, for the pattern every single time.
That seems dumb.
Yeah, but I think that was more to do with that designer's deal with other yarn company than.
Someone's asked about someone that went to jail for scamming people. Yes, that was a lady called I think she was called Catherine Clark, I think her name was. And she was British, and she worked at a holiday place, didn't she? And she was taking money from people to go to Disneyland or Disney World, and there was a lot of money involved. I think she got a 2-year prison sentence or a 1-year prison sentence. It was one or the other. She's out now with a different name. And she went back on the internet as well, doing crochet stuff again, but with a different username. She's from the northeast of England, so I think she's from somewhere like Newcastle or Middlesbrough or somewhere like that. Not that that probably means anything to you guys, does it? Nope. Yeah, she went to prison. And the thing is, there's a lot of people also thinking that the Lady Dyer we're talking about is possibly going to end up in prison as well, which doesn't give me any pleasure. I don't want to see anybody have to go to prison, but I do think people should be accountable, because they're always talking about accountability, aren't they?
I wouldn't think she would, because money crimes like this, they're really hard to prosecute. But the fact that she claimed I don't know this, but allegedly people are saying that refunds they were supposedly said they were on their account then doesn't show up on their account. That to me is something that would be more leaning towards that, because that's not even saying, oh, I screwed up, let me refund your money and make it right.
Right.
They're not getting the money when supposedly they're seeing things on their credit cards and then it's never coming in. So to me, that's another fraud on top of, it's not somebody trying to make restitution to their problems. It's somebody trying to hold on to that money even longer.
Yeah, and she sends an email every 2 weeks telling people what's going on. So it's not like she's trying to say she didn't do it, or it's not going on, or she's saying it in her own world. So
and every 2 weeks she's saying that she's got everyone's almost taken care of. If you notice those statements, and we've got 80% of the people have been refunded, or 80% of the people have gotten their yarn. But then you keep sharing these posts on Demon Trolls and the others saying, hey, I got an email saying my yarn was coming, but I never got it, and it's been 9 months.
Did you hear anything about her having a grant to
I
open
did.
her store?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe that is true. Whether it's from Boston Impact Initiative, I don't know, but she did get a grant, and she's applied for another one apparently.
Allison,
Well, you don't have to
I
pay
wish you
grants
had
back.
gone in so you could tell us about it. That would be fantastic. If anybody's been in this Lady Dyer's store, I would love to hear about it.
And there's,
Well, I
there's
just
other
wonder-
drama though as well, isn't there? There's not just the Lady Dyer drama. There is some others.
Oh,
There's I think we talked. Did we mention this last time? I can't remember. There's the lady whose name I can't remember. Tabitha in the comments. Can you tell me the name of the woman who has the farm and she apparently owes?
oh, Sherry Tenney.
Yes,
Sherry
that's
Tenney?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the interest of fairness, we do need to mention her because I'm going to be writing. Well, I'm not going to be writing, but I'm going to be featuring her in a future issue. Again, allegedly, we don't know if this is necessarily true, but she hasn't, come up with the goods for quite a lot of people. And there's a rumor going around that what she has sent, she sends fleeces and what's it called? Is it top? Do they call it? I forget what they call it. That it's had beetles, carpet beetles in it, and moth eggs and things like that. So what she was sending out allegedly was substandard, and she doesn't send it out anyway.
And supposedly she changed her business name multiple times.
And her
name.
I
had read.
And her
And
actual
her name,
name. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
And I also saw some of the things that she was doing, like people would sponsor a sheep thinking that they're going to get this yarn, that this roving from the sheep that's, like a white, and she ends up sending like a black sheep to them instead. And the person's like, this is not what I sponsored. This is not what I expected, So just like everything about what she was doing was just all.
Well, she was supposedly buying from wholesalers and just sending out, fleece from other wholesalers. Yeah, not from her actual farm.
And haven't some of the wholesalers refused to do business with her now because she didn't pay the bills? Yeah. Oh, there's
That's what
Darlene.
said.
Darlene is asking what the name of this Lady Dyer is.
This Lady Dyer. Oh, there, Murder Nits put it out there for you. There you go.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, I don't think anyone in our group has been, just one person I think in our group who had issues with her, and that was Knit Fuckery. But I think she eventually got her yarn after months and months and months.
Wasn't she the one that hated it too? It was super ugly when she got
Yes.
it.
Yeah, she was very unhappy with the colorway.
That
was after her she was harassing her for months to get it too. Like, she got her phone number and was having to call her and call her and call her, and it still took months for her to get her yarn.
Was that the Golden Girls colorway? Wasn't it? The
yes.
clown colors one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wrote about her back in January, and about her poor customer service, and it's like, well, if only they'd read. If only they'd read it.
Well, some people even said that some of the yarn they got in their boxes weren't even from her. It was other people's yarn that she would put in the boxes too.
Yeah,
like,
I've heard that, and also not what they ordered. They got a completely different. Like, they ordered X yarn and then ended up getting yarn out of a set that she'd done for something else. Everything seems to. I don't know who she was employing, because she seems to employ quite a few people, doesn't she? So it's either her or their employees that are completely incompetent, I think, allegedly.
Well, I think that if the leadership at the top is bad, then it just trickles down. I mean, if the person who's supposed to be in charge isn't doing what they're supposed to do, allegedly, then why are the employees going to do what they're supposed to do? I mean,
well, I wonder if certain businesses that were promoted heavily after certain major events that happened in our country grew too quickly for what they could handle. Yep. And instead of admitting that and scaling back, went all in, and
so basically
the
way they'll frame it is that white yarn buyers were racist and weren't buying the yarn from them before, then too many of them bought the yarn, so that they ended up failing. Whatever happens, it'll end up being, white buyers will be the problem.
Oh yeah. It's always everybody else's fault, so don't worry about that.
Speaking
Right.
of the other Dyer that goes hand in hand with this particular lady Dyer, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this one. How
Well-
can I explain who she is?
Are we talking about the mean girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Ain't they all?
Mhm.
The Kink song.
What was that, Anne?
What
Sorry, I
about
can't-
the Kink?
Ain't they all?
The Kink song.
Okay, song.
the who?
The Kinks. You know the song about a certain lady who's a man?
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes. Yeah, the Kinks.
Okay, you two are too young. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I know what you mean.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Neil knows what I mean.
Yeah, dude. I couldn't hear what you were saying at first. Call her Pinto.
There you go,
Beans,
Murder.
okay.
Yeah.
Pinto beans.
Somebody's got it in the comments. Somebody knows who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't wasn't
She's setting
this-
herself up to fail, though. Have you noticed
Yes.
that?
Oh yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. Well, the latest
If she
drama.
doesn't, I'm gonna be surprised.
Yeah. Well, I think because what's happened
She's
now
too
is
big to fail. They won't let her because they virtue signaled so much with her. I don't know if they would let her. They will start a whole new campaign to support her because they've all supported her, and so many of the social media knitters would look like fools.
Yeah.
If she doesn't succeed, I think
they'll go very quiet with her. I don't.
Wait,
think
wait, wait.
they'll-
Wait. Murder? What?
Yes, that's what I was about to
Yeah.
say. She has.
I did
well,
not see that today.
No, to clarify, she doesn't. Her husband and one of
Unless
his
it's
sons
changed.
has. Well, it may be. Yeah, they've
Because the two
divided the
boys-
house.
The two
So-
older boys and the husband have it.
Yeah. So far, the house has to be divided by gender over COVID. So the young girl isn't allowed to see her father at the moment, which I think is ridiculous. Because the thing is, they're all in the same house, so the chance, and they're all vaccinated. They say 17
Yeah, they are.
times or whatever it is. But it's very ironic because of the whole apology thing that they were doing recently, where they were apologising profusely for not wearing a mask at Rhinebeck. So yeah, it's like. Oh, DK's frozen.
Oh no.
Or she's shocked at something she's read. Something's happened.
I'm sorry. I just
Oh,
if you're all living in the same house with everybody.
Twice. No,
I mean, you're gonna get it.
yeah. Am I seeing things?
Yeah, we've got double the DK.
I don't know how to get rid of my second screen. I got kicked off. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God, one's bad enough.
not two. Hang on.
Okay,
there she is.
Sorry, guys. All of a sudden, my phone just
Yeah.
went, and it was gone.
I just, it's just funny to me that, suddenly all these things are happening when some people have large orders and then they do pre-shipments that aren't going to come out till middle of next year.
That aren't
It's
going to
like-
come out until after the credit card dispute period is over.
Mhm.
Doesn't
Yeah.
anybody else think that's weird?
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
think that's weird. And also,
And
I don't know what
I was going to say, and no one's allowed to contact them or question anything.
Oh,
no.
right, that's right.
Absolutely
Because they won't
no
respond.
contact. Yeah, and there'll be no refunds under any circumstances. They've said, no matter what, no
Yeah.
refunds.
Yeah.
Oh, we've lost DK.
Even if you move and you don't have the address yet, you
Yeah.
better pick an address now just in case you might have to move because you're not going to get your product.
Yeah,
And don't call or, DM. Heaven forbid you don't DM because then they'd have to do work on your behalf. And those people have been doing enough work on behalf of
enough
Others.
emotional labor. Yeah.
emotional labor. That's the word, yes.
Yeah.
Just that whole cluttered inbox thing, it gives me so much stress I can't dye the yarn. Wait, what?
Well, the things that have gone wrong for her, where she's had to stop dying, are ridiculous. It's like, get a grip of your life. Your personal life should not be affecting your business. If you're running a good business.
Hey,
You
want
know-
to know something?
Go on.
She has employees, though.
No, she doesn't. She won't
Well,
let anybody
family.
work for her.
She has a family.
Oh, I thought she did.
Only her
Oh.
husband works for her, and I think maybe her kids too. But about the time she was talking about the horrible fender bender she got into, I had one. Did I get online and flip out about? No, because shit happens.
Mm.
We live life. Life happens. I've been sick for 6 weeks. My kids have been sick. My husband's been sick. But you know what? That's life. If you are going to commit to being the only person that is dyeing your yarn, then deal with it.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
cannot function then maybe it's not the business for you.
And when a
and
daughter
also-
had to have a minor procedure done, it was a minor procedure. I think it was something to do with her ear, like having her ear drained or something. Like that put a stop to her doing any dyeing as well.
Mhm.
It's like, well, why couldn't he do it? Why didn't he take her to the hospital? And
Well,
then
it's
tell
like
her
when
that,
but when you own your own business like that, you plan ahead so that when you are slower time, then you prepare stock so that if something were to happen and you cannot, then at least you have something available for your customers. Because life does happen. I mean, that's what most small businesses do.
But I don't think she's actually got any stock, though, has she, at the moment? I think
Doesn't
now you
seem
can
like
only pre-order by the sounds of it.
Mhm.
But the other thing that they're doing is quite interesting. Is they have a newsletter, but I've never heard of a business doing this as well, and I think this is possibly something to do with me. My ego's getting too big again. So now, normally you can just subscribe to a person's newsletter and you just click on a link and it's done. Now you have to personally send an email to Jimmy, the husband, and then he, decides whether you are allowed to be added
Whether
to
you're
the
worthy.
newsletter. Yeah.
Perhaps if you want to be on their news list, you should preface it by saying greetings and salutations, because then he will acknowledge that you're on the same level as him.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
Oh,
Hey, we're
also-
approaching the 1-year anniversary of the whole Christy Glasson thing as well.
Well,
it's not far off.
It's interesting to me because now we're getting to the point where suddenly a lot of these dyers, I can't get my bases. I can't get yarn. Yet there's other dyers we know who are having no problem getting their bases.
Or
So
they've been having trouble for a long time getting bases. It didn't just happen though.
right,
Also,
but
I would like to just have a little time, like we said, these dyers are having issues. And I just want to, take this opportunity to shout out to our friends who are dyers who are killing it. That you have this, this is happening, that is happening. Joanna from Potions Yarns has kid number 2. She's incredible right now. She is dyeing stuff. Her colorways are always beautiful. She's awesome. Devin from Nitty McPurley just put out her 100th podcast episode. Lovely. She is doing the Lenten Advents for next year, getting the knitting, getting the Christmas Advents out. She's very busy, still recovering from cancer treatments. She has all of her kids, her household she's running. And she talked on one of her latest podcasts that she's like, yeah, I could make my business bigger, but I limit it to a certain amount because this is the amount I can handle and I don't want to expand farther than this, and I'm happy where I'm at. So she knows her stock, she's reasonable about it, and she expands where she thinks is the best to get her customer the correct products. Sweet Mountain Crafts, she has a storefront now. She's been a busy gal. She still has yarn out, and she's still out and promoting her stuff. We have and Anna Knitter, who we spoke to last week, that she is going to stop everything and expand her shop next year. We have all these people who are out there and doing amazing work, and they're figuring out how to handle it, and they're doing all these things. Yes, sorry, Bill.
But as a black woman, I feel I need to point this out, that all of those people that you've mentioned have the privilege of being white.
Oh,
yep. Forgot about that. I really, really like this comment from Allison. She's not going to support terrorist organizations. I am with you on that one.
Absolutely. We talked about BLM lately and what's happened there, because they've been completely exposed.
Nothing good
now.
This is funny.
People's multi-million-dollar houses. Go right ahead.
Yeah, and it was
And
a joke where they were scared.
Why was she afraid to go to Rhinebeck?
Probably because she's a bully and she was worried people would call her out while she was there.
I don't know if you remember the video where she's speaking to somebody who offers to get violent with someone. Do you remember that when I shared that? And it was clearly, over one of us. I don't know who, but
hard to say.
It could be any of us, couldn't it? And that brother, the one, the violent one, went with her. And there was a lot of drama. He forgot to take his vaccination card with him. So there was a whole drama where they made an exception for him. So Rhinebeck made an exception.
And then they got COVID there?
Yep.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. Okay, I'm not laughing that anybody's sick because I don't wish sickness
am.
on people. The karma, however,
It's
karma
funny.
decides things on her own.
That's it.
You
Exactly.
know,
Oh, Tabitha, don't tempt any dyers. I can't afford any new yarn at the moment.
As a black woman,
Gotta wait for
it's the funniest thing in the world when you come out with that. Like,
Well, have you noticed they've never ever commented on it? And I've been saying it now for quite a while, haven't it? And they've never ever said anything about it. So
well, because you're literally Nittler. Do they need to say more? I mean,
well, no, I think they think, oh shit, what
Or
if he
you-
is? You know, what if he does?
are you
identify
literally
as-
Ms. Are you literally Ms. Nittler? Since you're a female.
Maybe it's Ava Braun now,
I
literally
was
Ava
about to
Braun.
say.
yeah, I want to know how
No,
they
I
got
just-
an exception too.
I just don't know how these people.
Well,
Yeah.
what the exemption, how it happened was she rang the organisers and obviously used her clout, said, "What are we going to do now?"
You
And
know
then
who I
the
am.
organizer, yeah, exactly. And the organizer, who they mentioned the name of the organizer, but I can't remember who it is now. And they basically made an exception for him. I think what they did.
Wow,
was
that
they-
sounds like. What's that word they say we all have? Privilege.
Oh,
Mm.
right?
And I bet he's the one that had COVID and gave it to everybody.
Okay, so
Right at the door.
Ann and I think jokingly have talked about this, but I think next year I want to sign up to be on Podcasters Row at Rhinebeck. Do you think they'll let us in?
Oh, let's all do it.
Well,
I'll save
obviously-
I will
up and I'll
go.
come and visit.
Neil, if
I'll-
we are
I'll
there,
fly
you're
to
gonna
New York
have
for
to
that.
come.
I will fly to New York for that.
We
Okay.
Be
should
there for
try
that.
and do this at some point and go en masse, all of us, and just see
Well,
what happens.
Well, I think Ann and I should. I mean, we're an established podcast. We've been doing this for 2 years. We have a following, not as big as some, but come on. I mean,
Yeah.
should
can
they
you
really
imagine?
be able to discriminate against conservatives? I don't think so.
What do they call that room that they put the podcasters in where they can get away from the fans? What's it
Oh,
called?
the green room?
Is it the green room? Yeah,
I
can you
don't know.
imagine? Can you imagine the green room if we were all in there?
Well, no. What you really need to do is to go to Stitches West and hold a special
Oh yes.
politically
Oh.
incorrect room,
Right.
so people can feel comfortable and safe
And
with
also,
people who
I
are
will-
just like them.
if we do, in fact, go to Stitches West and we do, in fact, have a room there, we will not check you at the door for your skin color, sexual orientation. We won't even ask you if you're a conservative when you walk in that door.
Everybody's welcome. That's the point.
Welcome.
Mhm.
Because, for the record, your skin color or sexual orientation or any group that you happen to be a part of is not important to us unless that group actually wants violence. That against
Right.
that one. But besides that, we are welcoming to all people, and we don't think that those things have any impact on the amount of merit you have or bring to this world. That everybody is equal.
Oh, go on, DK.
And-
You...
And I think
What?
you're racist.
Whoa!
Well, on the back of that, I've got something I need to say. I saw a TikTok
Oh.
video recently because is it Martin Luther King Jr.'s anniversary or birthday soon? Or have I- has it just
January.
happened?
It's
What?
Ah.
third week of January, third Monday
well,
of
what-
January.
Well, what
I'm
they're
out.
doing is they're circulating stuff now where they're getting ready to deal with people like us that have the audacity to say the quote, I dream of a time when, we will be judged on our character rather than the color of our skin. And they're already saying, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, they're already sort of putting it out there that if you dare to say that as a white person, that's proof of your racism. So expect to hear that as it
Super.
gets nearer. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
speaking of, sorry, not a little apart from Martin Luther, but have to show proof of chicken lady yarn to get in. I mean, we are gonna actually have a gathering with, again, Devin of Knitting McPurley. Her knitting event is getting closer in January.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
And I hope you're going to write about it so I can put it in the magazine after the
Yeah,
Yes,
we have
I'm
to live
hoping-
vicariously through you guys. So
event.
I'm not going. Just
I
her
know.
mom. I'm bummed. But
a lot
hey,
of our friends are going though.
I know.
So
Oh well.
Good.
we'll just have to have our online one at the same time.
Yeah.
Do a Zoom.
It's
Zoom meetup.
just logistically it's hard. Like if Ann and I were doing something
Yeah.
for the show, that's one thing, but just me being to my husband like, hey, I'm gonna go away for a weekend to North Carolina, he'd be like, what? Like,
Yeah.
our
Exactly.
regular Florida trip is in jeopardy this year because of how much things are costing and fuel prices and all that stuff. So Anne's going to Nitty McCurley's retreat.
I am.
And her mother.
Lynn is too. Yeah.
Who? Lynn?
Yeah, I think Chicken Lady will be there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I'm not
several
sure.
of our friends are going.
I always forget who's going and who's not.
I'm
but
jelly. Although I
You
gotta
guys
say,
can all come to Vegas.
hard.
You guys can all come to Vegas. We have yarn stores. There's good food.
Well,
No.
unfortunately, your government won't allow me in because I'm not vaccinated.
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Well, Neil, if you go through Mexico and just walk, it's fine.
I'll get citizenship if I do that.
See? You just can identify as a Mexican black woman,
Yeah.
and then you'll be fine.
Dude, just come over the border. You'll be fine. Fine. Whatever.
I can't get deported from another country. Come on, that'll just be too much.
Well, you'll have to design something with some of those yarns that Chicken Lady dyed for you.
Oh, that's the plan. So I've ordered 2 of each, and what have I think I've ordered them in DK weight. So I'm definitely going to be doing something with them. Not quite sure yet until I see them. I don't think I'll be putting them together, although I don't know. I'm not sure. But I still want to design something with Tina's yarn, because the potato one, dramatic potato, and I've forgotten what the other one was now. There was another yarn. I forgot, but I want to do something with those 2 as well.
That was so. Some of y'all might have seen that Tina was supposed to join us today and then couldn't last minute. She had new yarn to show off.
I know.
I
I was
know.
hoping it was Mercury in the microwave. I've been waiting for that.
In the what? In the
microwave?
Do you mean the microwave?
Yes. Mercury in the microwave. It's. I hope she's making it. I can't wait.
That sounds like so fancy when you pronounce it like that.
Do we need to explain that, or shall we just leave it out there?
I don't know. It's hilarious.
Did you guys really believe me when I said that is how we pronounce it?
Well,
No, but
I
know I was joking.
I had heard her say it. It's a Nigella Lawson being a nut, and I had seen the clip of her saying microwave, and then when you said that you actually said it that way, for a minute I was like, for real?
Yeah,
Like,
I think Chicken Lady was a bit like, what?
Yeah, no, it makes it sound very, very posh. Microwave.
yes.
Oh, so
Sounds like a French dessert.
it's true. I was about to say, as we're kind of getting, down, Liz, you have yet to do your Stitches in a Minute challenge.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. Okay.
I can't do the timing. Can anyone do
I
the
can't
timing?
either. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, because I've got my
Oh,
phone as the camera.
oh no.
Is there anything on a PC that does a time thing? Does anybody
I don't
know?
know.
Because I can log
Not
in.
on my iPad, no.
I can grab a time.
Does the
Tabitha can
do-
time.
No,
Just tell Tabitha to.
there's going to be a lag.
Oh yeah, there will be,
Oh.
won't there?
Okay.
If I go into the calendar, oh no, that's just the calendar. Right. If I go in, I don't know whether I'll still be here. Right, I'm still there because I can't see anything now. So
No, you're good. You're here.
okay, if I do a search for a timer, online
Tabitha.
timer.
Tabitha's giving herself some props in the comments because she's got the timer and she's not here. Whatever. And Kathy said that she was on a Zoom with Christy Glass last night and they did Show Me Your Rhyme Back. That sounds like a lot of
Oh,
fun.
fun.
I'm glad she did it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, there was a
I
rumor.
wish one of you could get her on one of your shows.
Oh yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that even though she doesn't hate us as much as others, I'm not sure we're friends either. And that's okay.
Well,
Oh,
I don't
Chris-
blame her. She doesn't. I don't think she would want any of the blowback from it. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
it's because
I don't know. It might endear her to a lot of. If she's shunned from Rhinebeck, it might endear her to a lot of people who
Mm-hmm.
There was a rumor going
supported
around
her.
that they spread that she was actually at Rhinebeck, but she wasn't.
Wow.
Right, I have a
Tabitha.
timer. Oh, what's
Traditha might cheat if she times Wow, getting a little harsh here. I don't know, man.
Oh, yes.
She's already in first. Tabitha's already in first place. Why would she cheat?
Well, what if you are close?
We need to mention the trad wife drama as well, because that's what she's
yeah.
referring to there. Yeah, 'cause
Traditha.
apparently
Now I'm gonna have to think that
the
every
trad
time.
wives are the most problematic people in the knitting world, apparently. You can't
Yes.
be
Yeah.
wrong.
And
Right.
Even more than you.
Even more
Even
than
more
me,
than
I
you,
believe.
Neil?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Making a sandwich, as you guys say, is obviously worse than writing a magazine. Is it sandwich? Is that how you say it for a sandwich?
I don't know. And somebody's petitioning for a trad wife colorway for Murder Nets, so there's that too. But
Yeah. I
if-
said barefoot
in case-
and pregnant should be the other one.
if you don't know what trad wives are, it's traditional wives, people who like traditional values. They are against them in knitting now. So there you
Yeah.
go.
I
Somebody's
have a timer, so I can do that whenever you're ready to.
Okay. I'm
And
ready.
apparently, she doesn't want you to talk about anything with us, Neil. Tabitha,
Oops.
if you're
Sorry,
not
that
going
was
to
me.
come, too bad.
exactly.
Can't help it.
You have a
What
link
did she
now.
say? I missed it because I've got this timer thing on my screen instead of
Save
the
it.
chat.
She said, "Effing save it for our show, Neil."
Ah, effing.
He's
save
giving a
it.
preview. He's giving a preview. It's publicity. Okay.
He's you know,
Yeah, we're doing a show
wetting
on
everybody's
Friday.
palate so that they're
Yeah,
ready
so-
for it.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're doing a bit of a plug, shameless plug. Friday, all
Okay.
going well, as long as the child, one of the children, doesn't kill anybody, or himself. We should be doing another live. So it'll probably be the same time as the last one, which I can't remember when that was. So you'll have to
Okay.
look back.
So Neil's got the timer.
I'm ready.
You give her the
Okay, so-
countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
And now it's-
Trad wife with a potty mouth.
Well, and she was saying too that there was a comment in there about, that these trad wives, they are good at these traditional home crafts because it's the only thing their husbands let them do.
Yeah.
I
I
I
don't know
just
if
said,
I'm.
considering most of the women that I contact through knitting are all trad wives, I'm still waiting for a sandwich. Where is it?
We'll pressure can you one and send it to you.
Yeah, so Neil, I live with my husband and he rarely gets a sandwich from me. So good luck and Godspeed.
Well, I think it really shows a completely interpretation of what a married couple is like.
Those
Because
are marriage
most of the
privileges.
women in these trad relationships hold all of the power. They rule their homes, don't they? 4, 3, 2, 1, stop.
All right. Count.
Yeah. So no, I think you're right, Neil. They do. They kind of are in charge of a lot of the stuff. And
Also,
Yeah, and sorry, Anne, go on.
I was about to say, and this is something I've mentioned before, but the bizarre view that some people have of history, that is like, yes,
Wait, hold on.
in the past where women were totally oppressed all the time and they never had a say in in anything, and they were, tied to their hearths at home and they had to cook and clean and everything. And it's just like, do you understand how male-female relationships work? Like, I'm not saying that women, had always had rights and privileges in a lot of countries and times, but I'm saying that, like, do you understand
Okay.
how humanity acts?
48.
48.
48.
48.
nice.
Yeah.
That beats you, DK. So
I
you're
know,
definitely not
I-
in bronze place now.
No. It's all right. I understand. I take it. It's okay.
Yeah, I
What-
think the
what-
other thing, not to get into the whole male versus female war that has been going on forever, but would you rather be making sandwiches in the kitchen and doing whatever, or would you rather be having your legs blown off in a war? You know what I mean? There's kind of there's different ways of viewing the same thing, isn't there?
Oh, speaking of that, our government has determined exactly what a woman is.
Oh, really?
Because,
Yes.
because trans women have to register for the draft because they're born biological male.
And trans men don't, because they're biological women.
Trans men don't.
What?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Oh, have you ever heard of Eddie Izzard?
Yes.
He is a comedian, was a comedian, and now he's running for
Not very
politics. And he's now a woman.
Oh.
And goes by the pronouns she and whatever. And he's standing for the Labour Party. But here's where it gets interesting. The Labour Party has a policy at the moment where until they have 50-50 male-female representation, any new MP positions that are coming up, only women are allowed to enter the race to win that seat. So now he wants to stand to sit in one of these seats. And Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, was asked, well, can you confirm whether Eddie Izzard is a woman and whether that, does it extend to him, her, whatever.
That.
And his answer was a typical mealy-mouthed politician. I don't want to comment on individual cases.
Oh.
And just completely...
Didn't that female politician say that she's not going to use pronouns, and even if she goes to jail?
Oh, who was that?
Some British.
Who was it?
It was some British female politician yesterday. She said she's not going to use the pronouns.
I remember seeing a news blurb about that.
DK's gone again. What triggered that one?
I think I heard something incorrectly, but it was hilarious.
Oh, you'll have to type it in the private chat, DK, so we know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, it was too funny. I don't have a keyboard.
Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of weird things, and there was a story, and again, don't know where this. But a woman complained because a man was in the woman's restroom, and one arrested for it.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're having a private chat.
It was. I guess it wasn't a politician. It was Lorraine Kelly, whoever that is.
Oh.
Okay.
She's
a TV presenter. She's a TV presenter.
Okay. I'm sorry, Anne. I'm back now. I apologize.
Everyone will be saying, "What were they saying? What was it? What was it?"
It's okay. So anyway.
Yeah, I've got off topic now. That's
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
You know it's a good knitting wars when DK loses it.
I tried. Oh, I thought I had myself muted. Jeez. I'm losing it, people. So, hey, Tabitha, what's for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
I mean,
why
since
is it not
she's
on my
the trad
table?
wife.
Hey, Tabitha.
Liz has got some news going on.
Sorry, I was pulling up that name and some ad video started playing against the senator who hopefully is getting voted out here in Nevada. She's behind in the polls, so we'll see.
We're having tacos.
I won't believe it. I won't believe it until it's counted.
Yeah, no.
So
I don't believe anything until it's counted, and I'm
And
still
then
a fan.
don't believe it either.
Right? Well, they're gonna make it.
I've noticed
Hillary's already
everybody's
saying the
talking about
Republicans
that
are going to
film.
steal it.
Oh, really? They're accusing the Republicans of that, are they?
Oh yeah.
Yep, Hillary's already come out and said so.
Mine aren't homemade tortillas, but we're also having some
Coming
form
to your
of taco something.
I had pizza because now I don't know what is it. It's nearly 9 p.m. here, so I've already eaten.
I made enchiladas with tortillas last night, so does that count?
Nice.
Oh, I found out about some Mexican food the other day off Kerry Smith, and I've forgotten what it's called now. It was something I'd never heard of before, beginning with a T. It wasn't a tortilla. It was...
Tamales?
Could be. I've never heard of that, so it could be that. So I'm obviously missing out here. Oh, and what is this meatloaf? Somebody mentioned meatloaf. I don't even know what meatloaf is. What?
It's meat in the shape of a loaf, and you bake it.
It's ground meat.
It's minced.
And normally you add some breadcrumbs in it and some like barbecue sauce and some little minced up onions, and it's really good. And you have smoked meatloaf, which are amazing.
Yeah.
But my mother growing up, she used to make a meatloaf, but she'd make it in the shape of a gingerbread man, and she'd put little green olive for the face and the buttons.
I don't know why, but I always thought it was like some weird big sandwich, like because it's a loaf, like bread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You
No, it's just
because you cut off little blocks of it. So you could slap that.
Sometimes
Meatloaf sandwiches are good the next day.
Open face meatloaf with some gravy on it. That's also.
Oh, somebody send me a recipe. I'll have a go, and I'll send you pictures of my version of whatever a meatloaf is.
Yeah, and you know, before I had kids, I used to make it really flat, and then I would put spinach and mozzarella cheese in it and roll it up into a log. That was delicious, also.
I was just wondering, is this like what was it? A loaf of yarn? I thought you remember from a few weeks ago. I listened back actually, DK, and I did say a load of yarn.
Whatever.
So there's no such thing as a loaf of yarn.
Apparently, we have established that I have trouble hearing what people are saying because of what I just said to you. Seeing as you and I were the only ones that saw that, so.
Well, I never actually heard it. I didn't hear what you thought you heard. So
You just know each other well enough to know that you're both getting the same impression from things. That's all.
I think it's because we both got the same dirty mind. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
I do not.
Can I just say Eddie Izzard? Eddie Izzard is not an attractive woman. I'm just going to put that out.
As I said before, she a woman, she a dog.
Ooh.
You know, there's a lot of that when older men decide that they want to be women and they don't make the most attractive women.
I think I make a good black woman. I think I pull it off.
Really pull it off now.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Well, that's different.
I need to do what is it? I can't do it the head snap. I can't do it. I'll have to practice that one.
Oh my gosh.
You can watch old episodes of old. You can watch old episodes of old TV shows, to get your thing going.
You gotta get the snap, right? Or do they not do that anymore? Is that not a?
Didn't they get angry because all the gay men were copying it and appropriating it or something?
Could be. Okay.
Yeah, so they've gone on to something else now, I think.
The way they're going, there won't be any
health admiral.
Like the health admiral, dude. Yeah, Levine, Rachel Levine. Yeah. Our Surgeon General, I guess.
Yeah, our first
assistant.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Make an effort. That's the thing I want to say there. It's like, come on, make an effort.
Well, I read something. I don't know if we discussed it here, but something about somebody convinced another person that once you start taking the drugs, even if you've gone through puberty, it will change your bones.
Oh.
And I was like, pretty sure that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not how it works. Yeah, it was.
Well, I didn't. Somebody posted on Twitter that kids were asking questions about if they took the drugs, they could go back to the way they were beforehand, because that's what they were being told, that if you take the drugs, they're not permanent.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you can't. And someone was talking. Some kids had said, "I didn't choose to go through puberty." It's like, no one chooses to go through puberty. It's
that's just like the new saying of, "I didn't ask to be born." Typical teenager strop, isn't it? I mean, everyone said that to the parents when they're angry. So it's like, I didn't ask to go through puberty.
No, but here you are, and this is a fact of life. And a good parent, uses the word. A good parent uses the word no more than they use the word yes, because they're trying to teach their kid and protect their child. And just because the child wants something doesn't mean it's the best thing for them.
Yeah, no, totally. And you know what I just found out? So I mentioned that I was running late because I was at the playground with my kids. I lost track of time. I was there talking to a family who was asking about homeschooling, part of the reason why I was distracted. But their kid, the one person I was speaking to had a kid in like 8th or 9th grade in our public school. And the girl was uncomfortable with the trans boy in the bathroom changing with them. And the school district responded by saying, "We'll find your daughter another place to change." Not taking the boy out of the locker room, but the daughter has to go.
In my daughter's high school, and this was a few years ago before she graduated, if they went on overnight trips, they could be in a room with someone who identified, and the parents wouldn't be told in advance, and the students wouldn't be told in advance. So they could be sharing an overnight room with someone of who's biologically the opposite sex, and not being told. Well, she didn't go on any trips, so it didn't matter. But can you imagine that?
I'd lose my shit.
There's a case, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's American or British, but there was the rape victim that went to the hospital for help, and the nurse that was going to be looking at the woman turned out to be trans and was a man. And she said, I don't feel comfortable with this man doing this. And then basically she was booted out of the hospital and wasn't treated. And she'd been raped.
Yes.
I don't know. I thought in my mind, I'm thinking it's British, but I don't know whether
I think it was British.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
Arrow mentioned that one on Twitter. She's the
well, if these people
her door for supposedly having anti-trans Kiwi Farm.
Yeah. At this rate, there's no longer going to be women because men do it better. And there's no longer going to be gay people because they're forcing gay people to trans. This trans thing is conversion therapy.
Oh, here, if you guys want to know, our buddy Birdie Rose did a stream about that. So you can find that. So.
Oh, is she? I didn't know she was on YouTube.
Yeah. I don't think she does it a ton. I think she was getting back into it maybe. So.
Oh, right. I'll have to follow her.
I did get a notification about her today, but I was at the park. I was busy. I was at the park in the sunshine. So.
You're being mom.
Teresa's on time.
Mom takes time.
It does take time.
Yeah, it's just, it's frightening because they're forcing gay people to transition when they don't want to be the opposite sex. They just are attracted to the opposite sex. It's forcing conversion therapy.
And I also love how they're making people like, oh, if you wouldn't date a trans person, then you're a horrible person. And no, I'm straight or gay because that's what I am. It doesn't mean I want a person with no, that's not how it works.
Well, would you want to, I mean, take out the whole trans bit, but would you necessarily want to be with a man, say, whose genitals had been blown off? Do you know what I mean? If you're going to have thoughts about it, aren't you?
Barefoot Contessa.
Sorry.
What?
No, that there's this, it was an old Humphrey Bogart movie called The Barefoot Contessa.
Oh,
that's part of the plot. Anyways, it wasn't that great of a film, but
I was thinking The Barefoot Contessa on Food Network. And
that's what I was thinking.
Really confused.
What I was missing there.
Well, I was thinking, is she a man? is that what?
No, but I know she used to work for the.
No, anyway,
she used to work for the government. I mean,
but
I know that back in the day she wrote nuclear policy.
Wow.
What, the cook
back in
woman,
the day,
the woman who
she
bakes
worked
cakes
yeah,
and stuff.
yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, she was on in Nixon, and then I think in Reagan's government too that she worked, and she worked on policy papers.
Wow.
Well, Julia Child was in the OSS during World War II. She actually is the one who developed shark repellent.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
It wasn't Batman. Batman the one who used that.
No, it was Julia Child. Sorry. And then she went to cooking school. And, if Paisley were home and seeing you with a dog that's not Molly, she would, be unhappy.
What's this?
Probably good thing she's at school.
Right. This is Frankie. This is one of my parents' dogs.
Yeah, how many have you got there?
Here, there's 2. And then French Bulldog. He's somewhere else. But
asleep, probably.
Yeah. Ellie Mae says this is how we destroy a country from the inside out. So there you go.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I saw England now is backing up on the transitioning of children, that they're no longer going to perform it because they said it's a phase, and they're actually going to get mental health professionals who are experts in childhood depression and other childhood diseases for these children before they start pushing irreparable harm on them.
Yeah, and it was an NHS paper saying that doctors calling people by different names and pronouns and encouraging them to dress like the opposite sex is not a neutral act and should not be encouraged, which was surprisingly strong language.
Well, if someone's anorexic, you don't tell them how fat they are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's the same, if someone's got a mental issue, and face it, 99% of the people who are transitioning do not have dysphoria. They're doing it for other reasons. That's why so many of them detransition.
We've had
it's not right for them.
not to derail slightly, but we've had another win in the UK. I don't even know when it happened. I only found out about it the other day. But a woman whose husband was killed as a direct result of having the jab has won compensation of £150,000. So basically, it's not much when you think of, but the thing is, she's won and proven that thing that was put in him killed him. And that is a massive
That's
thing.
a big deal.
It is a big deal, yeah. The
in
money
your country and ours, it won't happen in ours because they get immunity.
Well, they were given immunity here, so how they got around that, I have no idea.
My understanding is that you can't sue the company, any of the companies who create the jabs, but you can get the money from the NHS or from the health program. So
basically,
they previously had a vaccine injury compensation scheme before any of the COVID stuff. So I think applying through that is how that is put in there.
Right. Yeah. But
at least it's a start.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see the head of the CDC got COVID again?
What did they do?
The CDC she got COVID again. She's had like 6 shots. But she's the one who said that it would prevent transmission. She actually came out and said that. Now they're saying, "Oh, we never said it would prevent transmission."
And then
you did.
I like all the blocks that have it like this person saying it and this person saying it in like the direct quote. Because explain to me what that is then. Maybe common sense is having to come back. That would be fantastic.
Well, it's fighting.
What kills me are all the people who got the tattoos of their jab. I mean, in 10 years from now.
That was stupid, wasn't it? That was
people are
how
dumb.
foolish are they going to look? But they're the cognitive dissonance. They're probably the same people who will never admit that they were wrong. They'll always be the ones who say, "But if I hadn't have had it, it would have been so much worse." How do you know?
Blame us for not warning them. Why didn't you warn us that this was going to be bad?
Or the people who are like, you couldn't have possibly have known when it first came out that it would. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and all the people dropping dead, but let's just ignore that. All these young, healthy
all these athletes just falling down.
When all these school districts are putting defibrillators in and teaching the students how to use them. But there's nothing that has to do with the vaccine, it's just kids die. That's their, kids have heart attacks. That's normal, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not
They're
normal.
saying it's a thing to do with the virus. They're saying that this is the long C word that is causing people to have heart attacks. That's how they're trying to get around it.
Yeah.
But it's funny that no one who, people that didn't get jabbed, they're not the ones dropping dead of these things.
Exactly. Let's not quibble with the details there.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think the medical industry will ever recover from this. I do not think the trust in the medical professionals will never come back.
Well, our friend Bitchy, she had a conversation with someone, and what was it they said? That they called us anti-vaxxers, which isn't actually true. We're not anti-vaxxers at all. We just chose not to have it ourselves and for our families, if you have families. And apparently we are what did she say? Was it either the most awful? Anti-vaxxers are the most awful people. And it's kind of like, whatever, in all existence.
In all existence.
Yeah, I don't...
Uses a lot of hyperbole, that one.
Okay, first off, there's a difference between anti-vaxxers and people who've chosen not to get this one vaccine.
Yes.
Right,
and I've also stopped getting the flu shot as well. Because I'm not sure with everything that's going on, it feels to me like that they might try to do something with the flu shot, since people do tend to get it every year. So for people who are hesitant,
did I tell you about my doctor recently? Consultant. I had to have, because I've got arthritis in my knees, and I had to have injections, or is it steroids or cortis something or other?
Cortisone.
Yeah, that's it. So I had them in my knees, which has been really good, by the way. And anyway, he said, "Have you been vaccinated?" And I said, "No." And he said, "What?" And he was like really shocked. And he said, "You do realize after you have this injection that you will be very prone to catching it and you could die." And I just went, okay. Anyway, but then he wrote a letter to my general doctor, my GP, saying, unfortunately, Mr. James is not vaccinated and he has been warned of the repercussions. And it's like, what the hell is this? You just inject my sodding knees and shut up. I don't want to know about all
Well, it's
this
like
shit.
you could walk out the door and get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
I mean, things happen. You could die doing anything.
Well, I felt like going back to him like 2 weeks later saying, still here, not got it.
Well, my husband's been at the VA hospital a couple of times. He had to get admitted, and they've asked, "Are you vaccinated?" But if he said no, they don't care. They don't. And the nurse said that they don't push it. If somebody wants a booster and asks for it, they'll give it to them. But they don't encourage people, and they don't force people. And she said she worked at the hospital in the county that held out the longest on the employees getting vaccinated, and finally she had to get it to keep her job and her health insurance. But she said otherwise she would never have gotten it. And she said we were lucky not to get it, because they've seen so many people in the VA who are coming in with more issues because of it.
Yeah, well,
I was very surprised.
Yeah, New York Supreme Court has just said that people who are fired because of the vaccine should be reinstated with back pay. I believe
Nice.
We'll see.
State or city employees. I don't remember which, but anyways,
State, I think.
They did.
But yeah. And Darlene said in Canada they're making people get it every 9 months, and she also said that they have combined the flu with that one.
Yeah.
To get people to get it.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't trust them. I don't know what they're doing.
My mom died from a flu vaccine, so I've never had it.
Crap.
Oh, really? Wow.
She had an irregular heartbeat, and her doctor told her to get the flu vaccine, and one of the side effects of the flu vaccine was irregular heartbeat.
Oh.
And 2 days after she got the vaccine, she died from a heart attack. Now, we couldn't prove it was from the vaccine because the doctor, covered, but it just seemed pretty suspicious that I'm seeing on TV the side effects of the flu vaccine are.
But that death would be within 28 days, wouldn't it? Because what they do here is if you got COVID, and the C word, sorry, and then died within 28 days, you died of it, whether you died of a heart attack or not. And also we've been trying to get the same way, let's say we, people in the UK, have been trying to get the same thing applied to the injection as well. If someone dies within 28 days of the injection, use the same process that you used for the illness in the first place, because that obviously was what got the figures higher than was actually real.
Yeah. Well, this was years ago, and we would have had to have an autopsy to look at, and my dad wouldn't do it because he said it wouldn't bring her back.
Right.
But we were pretty sure that's what caused it, because and her doctor knew she had a heart condition and told her, "Oh, you have to go get a flu shot because you're at risk," and she believed him. So I've never gotten a flu shot. It's just
I had one once.
I get the flu every once in a while, but
I would never have it again now. But I don't know. I think I was ill after having it. I think I actually had flu after it, and it's like, not sure about this. So I would never have it again, ever. Trouble is now I'm at that age where they constantly write letters to you saying, you are eligible for you are a vulnerable person. It's like,
yeah,
I wouldn't qualify you as vulnerable, but okay.
Well, this is it. All these people that I'm supposedly bullying and harassing, don't they realize I'm a little disabled, vulnerable old man?
There are so many
black lady
Dyers in America who are freaked out that I'm going to show up to one of their knitting conferences. You would not believe.
Yeah, it's just sad because we're a whole generation of children that we've screwed up because of this, and they're going to be angry when they get older. All these kids can't read, they're behind in school, the speech impediments, the socialization problems, the depression.
Has anybody had flu in the last 3 years?
No, there's been no flu.
No, I've not heard of anybody that's had flu.
Yeah.
Flu, COVID, one word, the other. It's all the same.
Tomato.
I think I'm going to try to drop off. I don't know if it's going to end our stream or not, but it's 4:45, and I got to go make the tacos.
Oh wow, we've been on for 2 hours.
Or the people will revolt. So
I won't be able to actually end it from my screen though. So I think. Yeah.
Okay. So then, is there anything that we missed that anybody wanted to desperately say? Because I got to go cook supper. because that's part of being a trad wife. You got to go. You got to do the thing that the man expects. It's part of life.
Oh Lord.
He only
Oh, that's right.
5 more minutes, and then it's all
You
done.
got to have that drink waiting at the door when he walks in the door.
My husband works from home.
Make sure you got your lipstick on. Lipstick
I do,
has to be
yeah.
on.
Pearls.
Yeah. Do you have pearls? Where are your pearls, DK? You know, you got to look like Donna Reed.
So I actually don't identify myself as a trad wife. I probably am one, but I just
I thought you were going to say trans wife then. I was thinking, Christ, what's this now?
no, but it's life. I am the mother. The kids are home. The husband's home. We have to eat supper. Who cooks? Even though I don't like to, but I still do it. So
I've just got 2 things to say.
yes, sir.
Friday with Tabitha, watch out on YouTube because we're going to be doing our normal chat. I'm talking like it's normal. It's going to be a normal thing. We're going to do it every month. And also Monday, fingers crossed, next issue of Block will be out, which is issue 5 on Monday.
Awesome.
Yay. It's very exciting.
Very
Some
good.
interesting articles in that one. That's going to cause a lot of
I'm
talk.
excited about it. Yeah. So okay,
Look out
guys.
Instagram.
All right.
Hi, thank you for having me. It was
Thanks
fun.
for coming. It was a
thank
lot
you.
of fun. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.